Hey everybody, welcome to Black Squirrel Radio. This is Robbie Pozzatello. We are here on the Constant Detour. Caitlin will be joining us very shortly, and we have a special guest on the line today. We have Mr. Andrew W.K, and we're very excited to talk to him. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing very well. Happy to be here with the Black Squirrel, and I'm assuming that's because you have a bunch of black squirrels running around at the radio station, or
well, in Kent. I guess like they're local here, for some reason. Apparently the legend goes that someone like brought one down from Canada and let it loose, and now like we just have a large black squirrel population in Kent, Ohio. So,
one very viral and maybe a viral squirrel, very productive.
Yeah, apparently. So, but yeah, like it's sort of the unofficial mascot of Kent State because we're the Flashes, which is just like a falcon or a hawk or something like that. I'm not sure what he is, but yeah, the black squirrel is also kind of what we're known for.
That's a great name, and I love squirrels, but black ones are a bit more rare.
They're definitely, I'll tell you, they're feistier than the other ones. Like even though they're like smaller, but.
Yeah, they're not quite as chubby and fluffy, but obviously they are hardy and quite, as I say, like a lot of vitality.
Yeah, they're very interesting. All right, so, well, I'm sure everyone is very interested in hearing about the squirrels, so we'll get into a little more of like the music scene. I guess I'm kind of just curious. Like I don't know too much about you other than like your image and stuff. So like, how did you get started in music exactly? Like what drew you to it?
I started, like a lot of folks, through learning an instrument, piano in my case. Pretty young lessons. Also played some instruments in school in the band or the orchestra there. So I was real lucky and very thankful to have that early training, starting around age 5 or so when, you're first learning how to read and you're first learning about how to, still walk and ride bikes. And so your brain is learning new things, and it was exciting to get music in there just as early as anything else, almost like its own language.
Yeah, you started with piano. Is there any other music or instrument you play? Or?
Well, I can play the drums a bit and guitar and bass, whatnot, and, whatever instrument I've had to play to record our songs, I've figured it out a little bit. But piano is definitely the first instrument and the main instrument that I play the best from.
Yeah, I've noticed because you have your CD, your album that's entirely piano, and you did the performance with David Blaine recently.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now when you perform live, are you typically behind the piano, or are you like running around the stage with a mic, or what do you prefer on stage?
Well, I like both. I'm 99% of the time I'll have a keyboard up there, but I have it turned to the side sort of so I can run up to it easily and then do both. But I've also played shows where I only played piano, sitting down most of the time and singing from there, like a solo show without my band or playing with string quartet. So, despite the fact that the piano or keyboard is a pretty large instrument, you can do a little bit of everything with it and run around it or sit down at it.
Yeah, very cool. And then, so yeah, you, did you, first of all, Caitlin is here in the studio. Say hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi.
How are you? Do you see a black squirrel?
Do I see a black squirrel?
Did you see any on your way here?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, we had a nice long conversation about black squirrels.
And how cool they are?
Yeah, we just talked about, I don't know, they're rambunctious little creatures.
Yes, that's a good way to describe them.
Yeah. So, Andrew, let's see here. Okay, so, yeah, and how did you get involved with, like the music industry and becoming Andrew W.K. and, like, the party hard and stuff like that?
Oh, well, that all happened when I moved to New York City. I grew up in Michigan, and then moved to New York when I was 18, so that was 15 years ago. And I came here just wanting to do something really big, really exciting. That's probably what draws most folks here to this land, this city of opportunity, is there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of potential and possibility, and I wanted to see what I could do with it. And shortly thereafter, I heard about this, some opportunities and some special ideas, and next thing I knew, I was doing Andrew W.K.
Okay, so when you mean doing Andrew W.K., is that doing you? Or is Andrew W.K. kind of just like your off stage, are you just Andrew? And like on stage, you add the W.K. and that's like the party you? Is there a difference?
No. I mean, I see what you mean. No, W.K., that's just, I have a hyphenated last name, so it's a bit long. I did used to use the whole last name, but actually starting in elementary school, the teachers, because there was a few other Andrews, and because, again, the name was a bit long, they started using the abbreviation WK, and so I ended up sticking with that because it was easier and shorter.
That totally makes sense, but I guess, the minute you're off stage, are you still constantly partying?
Oh, yes.
Yes, like that is you completely?
Well, I mean, everybody is however they are at any one moment.
Good point.
Much as I could do it. I mean, I've given this example before, like there are times when your body is called upon to move different ways. Like if you're a basketball player, I don't know that when they're not playing basketball that they're walking around dribbling a ball constantly. Now, maybe they are, especially the Harlem Globetrotters, who are very good.
I've never seen them without a basketball.
No, so maybe that was a bad example then. Never mind.
I'm just kidding. I get what you mean.
And sometimes, like the black squirrels, let's use them. Sometimes they're foraging for food that they've buried, perhaps in these early winter months. Sometimes they're engaged in burying food, and they have different activities and skills to apply to these different tasks. Just like when I'm talking to my mom or something, I'm not saying into the phone, that is a voice I could use.
It's a good squirrel voice.
Well, that was a song, yeah. If there was a song about Black Squirrel Radio.
Oh, man. We're probably going to use that for a commercial, just so you know.
Wish I had sung it better.
No, I think it sounded great. Better than anything I could have ever made up.
So, Andrew, let's see here. Like, what is your definition of partying? Because I know you tweet a lot of party tips for people and stuff. How do you define party?
Well, first of all, I chose that word. I always thought that word was the most direct, the most easily and widely understood word for expressing fun, excitement, celebration, gratitude, and just full-blown energy. It's what you do when you're glad to be alive, and that's kind of how I define it at this point. It's broad enough to include anything that anybody would ever find enjoyable, and it's really a state of mind where if you think about partying and how, I was first taught about it, they say, okay, you party and celebrate when you're happy about something, like getting some special prize or a special holiday or your birthday or on the weekend. But what if you're very happy and excited to be alive every day? Well, then you can be in that party state of mind every day. It's active gratitude and making the most of things.
I would totally say we're partying right now.
Well, I certainly feel that same way, and I'm glad that you do as well.
I totally feel like this is probably the best party I've ever been to, actually.
Hey, smokes. Okay, well, I don't know if that's...
It's my best party. It doesn't have to be yours.
Well, hey, no.
But
no,
if you ever come to Kent, I will throw you the best party. I promise that.
So you're going to throw me?
Yes.
Just off a small hill or maybe down into a lower ditch or something?
I was thinking more of just, at an apartment or something, but whatever, wherever.
Do you have Cinderblock Walls?
I do.
Okay, yeah, I'm a big fan of that, and have missed that time. In Florida, when I lived there for a little bit, when we were first starting the band and going on tour, I had Cinderblock Walls, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I enjoy them. They're freezing all the time.
Yeah, it's good. If you have a tendency to overheat, I guess that's why they use them in Florida.
Ah, there you go. Look at you.
What?
Look at you teaching me everything. So, I guess, what would you say has been your ultimate party experience other than Cinderblock Walls?
No, right here, right now.
Right now?
Yeah. Because if I had to go out right now, if this was it, and somehow the world just ended, or at least my world right now, I could safely say that I went out on a high note. For me, I mean, doing everything that I would ever want to be doing, the fact that you even care enough about anything, let alone this, what we're doing, Andrew W.K. on the radio, that means as much to me, and it's a dream come true. And I try to, stay in that state of mind at all times, and you're helping me do it. So I'm thankful. I'm blessed, and I want to use these blessed moments to, keep this feeling going, even if it's just for the next few seconds before I perished.
That's very cool, Andrew, and we appreciate it. We've had a lot of guests on Black Squirrel Radio that mostly, because we're college radio, it's not like, we're NPR or anything, but we've had like...
that's a pretty good station.
Yeah, but we've had like, Jeff Smith, the comic illustrator who did Bone, and he specifically took the interview because we were college kids and like, he wanted to like help. So I think that's cool that like, you want to get your stuff out there, and like we're more than glad to help. So we're kind of curious, just like what you want fans to get out of you and like know about you, why you do it exactly. Is it just because of the party thing and to live life to the fullest, or?
Well, I mean, I don't want them to. All I want them is to get out of it what they happen to get out of it. I mean, ideally, I want them to feel like they can do anything in the whole world that they'd ever dream of doing. That you have the power and the energy, not just from this music, but just from the whole understanding that life is this unbelievably intense, amazing, huge thing. Sometimes it's so huge and intense that we small it down because it's so overwhelming. But when you have the power and the strength and courage that something like music can give you, especially if the music was made to manifest those kinds of feelings, you really can go out in the world and take the whole thing on, and realize that if you have that dream that you want to come true, like for me, being a professional partier, it really can. I mean, and I'm living proof. This is one of the most, unlikely kind of things you could ever try to do, and it happened. But it didn't happen just from me. It happened from the whole world coming together to make it happen. And again, that's why I'm very thankful and very excited about it. But most of all, I just want people to feel a lot of energy.
I definitely think people feel the energy. It's amazing. I just turned 21 like 2 weeks ago.
Wow, that's a huge happy birthday. That's huge.
Thanks. It's really not that big of a deal to me. But what I was just going to say is I think I picked up my first album of yours, I Get Wet, in 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
And I always said, I've only been a DJ here for a little bit, but you were the only person I ever wanted to interview, and my friend Robbie here is who made it happen. So I just want to thank both of you a kabillion times, because you've always fascinated me, and this is too exciting.
Yeah, it means the world to me as well. I mean, 6th grade, so you would have been, what, 11?
12.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I know. You're making me feel old, Andrew.
You feel old now?
Yeah.
Well, then imagine how I feel. I don't really feel old, I just feel like elderly.
What's the difference?
I don't know. One, like, see someone's elder.
Experience when you're elderly, right?
Oh.
Knowledge and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like in Talladega Nights, then the grandfather says, "They shouldn't talk to me that way. I'm their elder." You like that?
Yeah. So Andrew, you were talking about, I guess just like how music is like, your form of expression and stuff. But I mean, if you weren't a musical artist, what do you think you would be doing? Because I mean, you're also like a motivational speaker and stuff. Do you think you would just be doing the same stuff but without music, or?
Yeah, I thought about that kind of question before, because in the earlier school days, I thought about being a scientist or a dentist. I thought about getting into painting, or drawing, or fashion design, or doing. I never really did much sports, but I did learn how to ride a bike.
That's cool. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That actually took me a long time to do that. So
yeah, I mean, it was very easy when I was riding on trikes and with 3 wheels or the training wheels, but then when you had to balance, that was I actually didn't even see how this was possible.
It's pretty hard at first. Skateboarding's a whole nother story.
Don't even get me started on that. I was always really wanted to be able to skateboard, and I just kept falling off. So then I just figured I couldn't do it. But I think people that do it falling off until they don't anymore. So I have a lot of respect for the intensity. Like, my wife is very good at skateboarding, and most of my friends actually can do it, but I've never been able to. I don't know. You know, I think everybody's born. They have a destiny. They have a path that they're meant to go on, and you can sort of figure it out, you know, hopefully by listening to your instincts and listening to your gut feelings. And when you really love something and get this feeling of excitement, that's a sign that, well, perhaps this is meant to be a bigger part of your life. And if you really dislike something and just feel nauseous even doing it or thinking about it, then perhaps that's not meant to be your way in life. So I just tried to follow those things that made me the most excited and believe that those were what I was meant to do. So maybe I would just be dead if I wasn't doing this, you know?
I would hope not, and I fully see you doing what you do. I think you're the best at it, but you did mention you would maybe be a fashion designer.
Yes.
Perchance would everything be white?
Well, not. I mean, maybe if I was designing it just for myself.
I have to go there. Is there a reason for the all white? I mean, you rock it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, thank you.
It looks awesome.
It just seemed like something that would be easy to do, and easy for other folks to do, and easy to maintain, and easy to, switch out if you ever needed it, and something basic and reliable that you could count on.
I mean, that is true. You're never going to run out of white shirts.
Yeah, they're very easy. You can get them anywhere. The whiter jeans are a bit trickier, but thanks to the good folks at Levi's, they're making a lot of those, and it's comfortable. It's durable. I mean, really, if I was wearing a delicate sequined outfit, like I've admired other folks, but it's very fragile. You have to dry clean it, and this one it shows all the scars and filth and muck of all the partying. So you get to put that on display, and your hard-worn efforts and stains get prominently showcased.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to keep your memories without even having to take a photo. Just put your shirt on every day.
There's that blood stain, there's that urine stain, there's that sweat stain, there's that taco stain, there's the stain of that bug that I mashed down.
Aw, man. Poor bug.
Sorry. Well, it was trying to bite me, so.
Oh, understandable.
It was a bed bug.
Oh goodness.
And an earwig.
Ew.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Totally gross.
That's why I mashed it.
So this one's a little off topic, but I've always been curious. So you have been, for as long as I've noticed, you've gotten some really cool opportunities outside of music, as like with Destroy, Build, Destroy, and your old show on MTV2 a few years ago.
Yes.
I was always wondering, did you come up with those ideas and like implement them and be like, hey, let me host this and let me do this? Or did networks come to you and be like, you're a great guy, we have this idea for this show and you're a great guy for it?
A bit of both, but like for Destroy, Build, Destroy, I have been working with Cartoon Network here and there, like the Aqua Teen, Hunger Force.
Yeah, I saw that episode.
Well, thank you. That was another amazing experience. And so you meet folks that are nice, and you talk to them about fun things like partying, and then they maybe have you in their brain. And when they have a show that they're making that would benefit from that type of party attitude that I could offer, they think, oh, what about that fellow? And
you are perfect for it. Do you love doing it, like Destroy, Build, Destroy?
It's one of the greatest, fantasies come true that I ever could have possibly had. No one had ever made a game show like that, probably for a good reason, because it was somewhat controversial. It was, teenagers, sometimes even younger than that, like 10, 11, 12-year-olds, blowing stuff up with very, very big explosions. I mean, when I say it, before we did the show, I thought, oh, there'll be a little puff of smoke or something, and some cardboard boxes will.
Right.
They're really massive mushroom cloud, 100-foot fireballs.
I've seen them. Some of them, they look crazy.
I mean, and there was a lot of parents who got very concerned, and they also thought, well, maybe this party guy isn't a good person. But we did get to do 3 whole seasons of Destroy, Build, Destroy, and it was the #1 show for young kids, on all of TV. And when that was on the air, that was as big as we could have gotten it. So those are the kinds of things that just make me not be able to believe that I get to do this. And that's a dream come true from being someone who watched a lot of game shows. Big fan of Mark Summers, of course, who hosted like Double Dare.
Yeah.
And other great game shows like Fun House. That was a really good one. So just to be part of that, and I think all the skills that I may have developed doing, my professional partying and this rock and rolling, it can be applied to this. And they're all, again, still trying to go for the same thing, this feeling of excitement and energy. And TV is a great way to do that, especially when there's explosions.
I fully agree. It definitely gets people's attention.
Well, thank you very much.
I sometimes, truthfully, I've had a lot of failure party experiences.
Okay.
Where, like, I don't know if it's because I get my hopes up too high or what, but how would you guarantee a good party? Like, let's say you're there, like, you have all the best intentions. You're going into your night ready for fun, ready to rock, but then something happens. How do you manage to overcome, like, a little niche in your night to make it great again? Because that happens to me all the time, where I'll get a little bender and then it ruins my mood. But if you have any advice to bring myself back up so I can enjoy the rest of my party, that would rule.
Well, first of all, there is always a gamble. That's part of the excitement of it. There is an unpredictable element. It's not completely in your control, and I think that's what makes it exciting and thrilling, is we want to go out into that world and take risks and have gambles and put ourselves on the line, even if it's just for the sake of enjoyment or entertainment or fun. And then past that, you can take responsibility and say, look, whatever has happened, depending how intense it is, most of the time you probably can, cheer yourself up with a small chuckle, a giggle, some type of laughter. If there's no one there to do it, then you can close your eye and remember something that has made you laugh, or think of something very funny, like a black squirrel with a crown on or something like that.
That does usually work.
Something, I try to keep something in my mind, like a little stockpile of songs that I could even just think about, or funny things, or if somebody fell down and it made me giggle or chuckle. You can hold on to those and have them as like a resource to boost you up. I'll be able to remember us talking on this interview today and about the black squirrels and things like that, and that will probably bring a gleam to my spirit if I am feeling downtrodden. Also, all the emotions are valid. All the emotions count. So that downtime that you may have been feeling during a certain party experience could actually be the whole part of the point, because it makes it more dynamic and more contrast when you hit that next high point. So always have faith that things are moving in the proper direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely think just holding on to your little statement right there will be enough to help me get past my next party.
It helps, and I'm always working on this too. So any input that you have and anything that you learn, please tell me, because I want to. We're trying to fine tune this. It's really an art of being in a positive, powerful partying mindset.
Well, all the tweets and things you put on Facebook, I won't lie, I constantly retweet them. They make my day. Just like party tip, you effing rule, or party tip, life is great today. Like, they do make my day. So I would definitely say, for your other fans as well, keep doing that, whether you're having a bad day or not, because it always helps me, for real.
Thank you very much for even checking them out, let alone allowing them to penetrate your mind and in a way that could help. What is your Twitter, so I can follow you in case I'm not already?
I don't even know. Oh, okay. It's I don't use Twitter often, so don't get too stoked. It's Jaitlin, Jaitlin, Baved, Baved. It makes no sense. It's not worth getting into.
We'll make sure to have her tweet you, Andrew, because
might not see it. Jaiplin.
Jaitlin.
Glin. And then what's the last part?
Baved.
David. All right, let's see if it works.
I was trying to be original because my name's Caitlin David, so I was like, I'll just change a couple letters. I don't understand Twitter at all.
A beautiful tie-dye background and a spiral.
Yes, that is me.
You're a beautiful brunette.
Oh, thank you.
You have your hand on your cheek.
I do. Even right now as we speak.
This is the right page.
Yes.
Thank you, and thank you. You know, I think the computer is just one of the most great fun things of all time. I mean, this is like extension of the human spirit and the human brain, and it's a way to party.
It is
just
a
with
way
the
to
telephone.
party.
We are partying right now using this amazing telephone technology, and then it's the same thing, just like times 100 or 1,000 million.
Yeah, Andrew. You know, I think one of the things we noticed was just that, because Caitlin has talked about you in the past, you know, just because she's a fan, but I've personally never really, you know, been too aware of you up until recently. But, you know, I noticed you did the wedding for the editor of EP recently in Cleveland, and you know, you do Destroy, Build, Destroy, and like all this stuff, and I think we just kind of came to realize that you were the kind of guy who like would be down to, if we contacted you, that you would take this interview and you'd be willing to like spread your message and stuff like that, you know. Like the reason we asked that you would do this is because we like basically figured you would say yes, and I think it just becomes more apparent as the conversation goes on that you're that kind of guy to like help people out, you know.
Well, inviting me.
No problem.
Not a problem. I do have one question, and I'm not trying to hit a sore subject or even harp on it at all, just so you know. But, oh, don't hate me. Oh, this is my first interview ever, but,
Great job, by the way. And I wanted to just add, I do have another call now, but I'm waiting to finish our last question.
Okay.
Oh, okay, one last question.
Normally, I hate to say that.
No, that's totally fine. But now I feel bad because I don't want to end that on a lame note. So instead, I'm going to ask you something else. Tell me a little bit about electrifying David Blaine.
Oh, well.
That was crazy.
Of course, the magician and illusionist and master of endurance feats, like feats of endurance and strength and focus. This man, David Blaine, who is from New York City.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he is. He has done many stunts or feats, amazing. It's hard to describe, really, if they're a magic trick or if it's really what it appears to be. That's what's so exciting. Performer, for sure, no doubt about that. And he set up this special Tesla coil machine, which looks like lots of lightning bolts of electricity, like that static electricity looking thing.
It kind of looked like one of those lamps you get at like Spencer's, where you put your finger to it, the line follows. You know what I'm talking about? The electric light ball thing?
That's basically it, like that, if it was as big as an entire warehouse. I mean, it was huge. Spencer Gifts times 1,000,000. And it really actually was 1 million volts or 10 million volts of electricity, and they attached it to a special small keyboard, like a musical piano keyboard. Mm-hmm. And I got to play a solo that would direct those volts to David Blaine, who was standing on a platform 20 feet up in the air, with the volts going right to him.
Were you scared you were going to, like, kill him?
But I figured if he, had set this up with us in mind that, even if he did perish, it wouldn't be entirely my fault.
That is a good point. I mean, he is the one who came up with it.
It was his idea, after all, but it was an incredible experience. I've admired his work for a long, long time, and I got to talk to him and meet him and party with him and play music through him. So that was very thrilling. And again, just those moments that really make me blown away that any of this gets to happen. So big tip of the hat to him, and thank you for asking. There's videos of that on YouTube if you just type in David Blaine.
I watched it. It was crazy. But yes, other people should definitely check it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, thank you very much for calling in, Andrew. You're always welcome back on Black Squirrel Radio. If you ever want to party in Kent, you're always welcome. Can we ask you for one more favor before you go, though?
Yeah, sure.
Could you say, this is Andrew W.K. and you're listening to BlackSquirrelRadio.com?
Okay, yeah, sure. Hello, everybody. This is Andrew W.K., and I just called in on the telephone to remind you that you're partying hard and listening to BlackSquirrelRadio.com.
That was 1,000 times better. Thank you so much.
And
thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrew. As I said, fan since 12, seriously, now that I'm of legal age to party. If you are ever in Kent, we have a giant black squirrel costume that is so much fun to wear. Because you can just put it on and attack people, and they'll never know it's you. So you should probably come hang out with us sometime.
Please, the way you guys set up this interview, just write again, and we could set up an in-person visit, or when we're on tour, we could do something, or tell the school to invite us to play there.
Anytime. We have Flash Fest every spring, and we always get an artist who's okay, but you would just be off the charts. So we will keep in touch, because I think you would really enjoy getting to be our black squirrel mascot.
Amy, please do.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Have a great day and party hard.
You too.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.